episode 36 of the Fit Pro podcast. Welcome back to the Fit Pro podcast, listeners. I am your host, Marvin Fayers, and today's episode is a summary of September. We are 3 days into October already, and just looking back on the month we had in September, it was full of ups and downs. We will talk about it. We will get into it. I've made a few notes, so let's just get right into it. And how do you think? Not September. How do you think? Yeah, September. I'm losing my mind, guys. How do you think September went? From your point of view, how good was it for the Fit Pro podcast? Let me know on Twitter at Fit Pro Podcast how you think the show went last month. I think it went really well. In terms of numbers, we did not do the numbers that I was expecting, but we did have a lot of progress, which I will talk about. And first and foremost, you know how we've got a structure to these shows, guys. We have our insights and thoughts, my insights and thoughts. We've got September's successes, September's lessons, and September's episodes. So let's just get straight into it. My insights and thoughts. My insights for this month, last month. You don't need to have a unique idea, just a better way of executing that idea. And it's fairly simple. A lot of people think they need to come up with the first of something to be successful in today's society and today's economy. And the answer is flat out no, you don't. You just need to execute the idea better. Now, that being said, Marvin, what are some examples? Some examples of that are the smartphone industry. Who did it first? The first person you think about is iPhone, where that's the first time you either heard of it, unless you're an early adopter, or B, was the first sort of smartphone that you got, if you're not an Android addict like myself. But Nokia was first. Now, Nokia versus iPhone. Who's still around? iPhone, Apple, still around. Nokia was dead, and I'm pretty sure Samsung have bought them, but Nokia was the first one to bring out a smartphone. Do we remember that? No, we just remember the person that executed it better. Obviously, Steve Jobs, Apple, they're a beast. And keeping on the Apple example, who created the first tablet? Microsoft again. Bill Gates did it, and Apple was the better one, the company to execute it a hell of a lot better with the iPad and bring it to the forefront, bring it to your face so that you have a tablet in every single home now. But Microsoft was the first to do it. Now, as you can see, fucking Apple used to copy other people like it's going out of fashion, and they still do it today. They have never had the first of anything. They cannot claim to have the first of anything because a lot of their ideas are copied. I don't know. I'm not fact-checking this, but I don't know. I think Apple maybe one or two things that they purely invented on their own, but hell, everything else was invented by somebody else first. They just executed it better, were smarter about it. So, you do not need to have a unique idea, just a better way of executing the idea. Boom. I should just end the episode there, but we're going to keep going, and it's going to be a quick one, so listen up. September's success. We outdid August 8 episodes with a massive 13 episodes in September. Now, I don't know if you remember, but in August summary, I wanted to do more episodes, and I'm happy to say we ticked that box. We did a hell of a lot more episodes. We actually did 5 more episodes this month. I'm going to try and do 13, but keep in mind, it is my birthday. I am going to Bali for a week with my girlfriend, so I'm going to have to grind there to get this out. Another one of our successes was branding. I think I've found the branding for this channel, for this podcast, and I'm hoping you like it. I'm slowly transitioning everything to that branding. I think it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot richer, it looks better on all platforms. I've formatted each and every bit of branding that I do to be native to the unique social medias or outlets. So that's an ongoing thing, but I'm really excited about that. And Twitter exposure. If you haven't already, make sure you head to Fit Pro Podcast on Twitter and give us a big follow and stalk me, because Twitter is actually, it's still an amazing platform, guys. I know it's died down a little bit, but it's actually a great community. You can talk to a lot of different people. You can get a lot of exposure that way, and I'm really, really loving building a following. So I'll be putting some competitions on there soon. So make sure you are following me on Twitter. September's lessons. The lessons I learned in September. Spend more time planning. I find my biggest problem is when I've either come and just tried to publish an episode on the day, and it just takes up too much time, and I end up spinning my wheels, but I get it out. I always get it out. So I need to spend more time planning what's coming up and basically the format of everything. I'm still getting my head around that. It's still early days. We have not been doing this for a long time. The lessons, branding is so important so that when people see an image, they tie it to your business, and that's what I'm doing at the moment, is just branding everything a certain way, to look a certain way, to feel a certain way. When you look at it, you go, that's Fit Pro Podcast. In saying that, I'm going to keep the colors in the branding, but I want to change the name. So if you've got any ideas, make sure you hit me up on Twitter. Streamlining the process. Again, this is part of the planning, where now I've got a process for when someone's episode goes up, when it goes live, approaching new people, talking to everybody via email. Everything's process driven now, which is one of the lessons moving forward that I need to do a lot more. Is it makes just life easier. And I know you're going, duh, Marvin, processes make life easier, but sometimes you need to hear it before you put it into action. I know I definitely do. I need to hear things over and over and over again before I pull my finger out of my ass and do it. Cool. September's episodes. Let's start from the bottom and make our way up, all the way up. With episode 26 was Personal Training and Music with John Ponel. John and I go way back. It's a great episode. He's an aspiring artist. It is actually episode 26 and 28, so part 1, part 2 of that one with Johnny P. Great guy, all the way out in Sydney and doing his thing. Look out for him on the music scene. If you click on episode 26, you'll be able to see his music video that he did a while back. Episode 27, how to stay motivated. I just list and go through a whole bunch of different ways of how to stay motivated and how to keep yourself moving forward. Episode 28, that's part 2 of the Johnny P one. Episode 29, Homemade Muscle with Anthony. Anthony Alvin Tuckus is a great role model. He's a great person to look up to and see what is possible. This man was in a horrific accident. He has one leg and he's built a very successful business from home, doing what he could do, which is working, doing homemade, home-based exercises. And he's a beast. He's ripped to shit, and I think he's just come back from his retreat. So look out for Anthony. I'm sure he'll be promoting the podcast soon. Just a random one, fighting homeostasis. I just needed to talk about it. It was basically getting out of a sort of a funk, getting more episodes out, and just making, actually that was the transition as well to these shorter, sharper episodes, which you can, or bite-sized, and you can listen to in small parts of your day. Alright, episode 31, working on your passion with Anthony. Obviously a continuation of the episode with Anthony Alvin Tuckus. Great dude. Episode 32, Start With Why, is basically a breakdown of Simon Sinek's Start With Why. If you have not heard that yet, it is an excellent episode, and obviously Simon's stuff is also amazing. There's links to his book and his TED Talk. Interview with Lauren Conlon, episode 33. A great interview with Lauren. Lauren is an amazing human being. The way she does things is so congruent with how she thinks, acts, and believes. So check out Lauren Conlon, episode 33. Episode 34, Be a Critical Thinker. Such a very important skill. I'm still developing it myself, but you can have such amazing conversations when you have an open mind. Your mind is like a parachute. It works best open. Episode 35, the last one of September. Interview with Lauren Conlon, part 2. again, continuation. Great chick. Check it out. That is all 13 episodes of September. I'm hoping you love this month as much as I did. If you have not already, make sure you head to the Facebook page, FitProPod, as well as follow us on Twitter at FitProPodcast. Give me a follow, give me a tweet, let me know how you feel about the show. And last parting word, make sure you head to iTunes. iTunes is free. On iTunes, you can subscribe to the FitPro podcast so that every single time an episode comes out, you get the latest, you get the greatest, you get to stay motivated and inspired. This is the FitPro podcast, and we are out. And by we, I mean me, and I'm gone. Peace.